With the Red Raiders' recent loss over Kansas, what are the expectations against the Sooners? What's in store for Texas Tech softball this year following a postseason appearance? A 50-year Super Bowl drought has been ended. And how are the NBA teams dealing with big-time injuries before the All-Star break? Find out next. MCTV Sports 101 starts now. Hey there, sports fans, and welcome to MCTV Sports 101. I'm Austin Seat.
And I'm Ryan Heller. After a win against ranked West Virginia, the Red Raiders were hoping to get a win against a ranked team on the road as they went on the road to face third-ranked Kansas. Sadly, they came up short as they fell to the Jayhawks 78-75. The Red Raiders had a chance to win it in the end, but came up just short. They will face Oklahoma next here on Tuesday. Austin, what went wrong in that game, and what do they need to do better against the Sooners?
Well, the first thing I'm going to point out was that sluggish start that they had, and I mean, if your team takes 6 minutes to finally get the scoreboard up and running, you're going to lose no matter how good you are. I mean,
especially when you're faced on the road against Kansas.
Well, yeah, you're facing a top 5 opponent, and the fact and you are all of a sudden you're down like what was it?
22-8, I think.
I thought it was 19 to. I mean, you're down before you even tied your damn shoes.
It's okay.
Yeah, that was my fault. I apologize for that, folks at home. So please try to ignore that. I do apologize for that. So.
But there are worse words to be said.
Yeah, there is. So, but I feel like that's going to be the biggest problem with Tech moving forward is you got to get off to a faster start, especially against these top-ranked teams like Kentucky, Louisville, Kansas, Baylor. I mean,
and to me, what I thought was very bad was that I can count 4 times off the top of my head where they got the deficit down to 3 or 2, and somehow we're not able to get the lid off the basket after that. They kept making dumb mistakes, and then Kansas would go on a 7-0 run or a 9-0 run, and then boom.
Went on a 9-0 run, making an 11-point game, and then Tech makes one final push, and then you're down by 4. However, and you still ended up losing the game by 3. But I mean, it's tough. I mean, you can't win a game and get off to a sluggish start like that. So
I mean, for example, the Jemias Ramsey, bless his heart, he was on fire. 26 points, 5 of 8 from the 3-point line. Mm-hmm. And Holyfield, 19 points, 4 blocks.
Well, they were shooting like 42%. I mean, the 42% field goal percentage is what they had for the entire game, and that kept them in the game for a long time. I mean, Kansas almost. I mean, if you look at any headline, it says Kansas outlasts Texas Tech. Kansas nearly chokes against Texas Tech. So
because Texas Tech just couldn't pull, they just couldn't get that final push. Mm-hmm. And when TJ Holyfield was actually making consecutive threes, I thought this is destiny.
Well, he had 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 blocks. So I mean, he was playing his heart out. But I mean,
yeah, but since when you see him make consecutive threes?
Yeah.
Like
so I expect Chris Beard to do in this game against Oklahoma is go out get a fast start. You can't be down 15. It's 17-2, I think is what it was. You can't be down 15.
17-2, 19, 20.
And expect to win the game. You just can't.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Kansas, it's been 50 years, but the Kansas City Chiefs are finally Super Bowl champions once again. They faced off against the San Francisco 49ers in Super Bowl 54 and came out victorious 31-20 after trailing 20-10. They spurted for 21 unanswered points, and at the helm was one of our favorite Texas Tech alums, Patrick Mahomes. He exploded for 286 yards and 2 touchdowns and was named the MVP. Ryan, what was the key to the Chiefs' victory?
I think one key was that, now yes, Patrick Mahomes did not have a great game by his standards, but it was a heck of a game nonetheless.
As far as the past 2 seasons that he has started, yes.
But it was a great game nonetheless, and he stepped up when he needed to, made the throws when he needed to. He didn't always. They're known for their fast, high-powered offense where they get like 40 yards in a
you got to give credit where credit is due to that San Francisco 49er defense. They kept that game
in check.
For 3 quarters.
3.5 quarters.
Most teams won't even do it for 1. So
because Kansas City after that they got down and they just put it on Mahomes' back and he said, you know what, I can do this, I got this. Just
he told him, give me 1 quarter and I can get us in this game, and he did.
And plus also the Chiefs defense played actually better than average near the end because they made the 4th down stops when they needed to. They made the 3rd down stops when they needed to, considering that sack with Jimmy Garoppolo where he was doing that.
Whatever that was.
And they stepped up when they needed to, and that was a big key. And I'm so happy for Andy Reid. 21 years in the show, he finally wins a Super Bowl. Now he is a guaranteed Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. Now.
Oh, for a head coach, he should. I mean, should be. But what I found, and there's a bunch of other interesting stats. You have Pat Mahomes, who is the first person under the age of 25 to win an MVP and a Super Bowl. He's one of the top 3 youngest players to win a Super Bowl, behind, I think it was Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers is who it was. And then, I mean, he's a gunslinger. I mean, he's earned that nickname. And, I mean, you saw a tweet from when he was either in college or high school where he said, I wonder what it's like to say I'm going to Disney World after winning a Super Bowl. And he got his chance to say that.
Now he knows what it's like.
And I know we're talking about the Super Bowl here win, but what I think the Chiefs, and you could kind of blame Travis Kelce for me saying this, but the fact that they said we're going to win not 1, not 2, but 3 is you got to start. Is now that Chiefs organization, that behind the scenes team has to start negotiating contracts, and we heard that statement before the Super Bowl even started.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they get those contracts settled.
And also another thing was that they also got the run game going. Damian Williams went for 104 yards. Along with those 2 touchdowns that he had, that was also a big key. A lot of people say that the team that runs the ball the best wins the game, and they were able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, but Pat Mahomes is now 5-0 when down by at least 10 points.
Which is amazing, by the way. Now, last year was a season of overachieving for the Texas Tech softball. They started off winning their first 11 games of the season and finished with a 42-16 record. And they even made it to the NCAA regionals, where sadly they lost in the first round in the Baton Rouge Regional. They finished the season ranked 19th and start off this season ranked number 18. Their first game will be against Houston Baptist in the Big Easy Classic. Austin, what's your expectations for them this season?
I fully expect them to get over that super regional hump that ultimately got them knocked out. I mean, you saw the fight that they had. They won against, who was it? La Tech. They won their first game against La Tech. Then they come out and lose to LSU in the second game. Go back and beat La Tech in round 3. Then they come out and smoke LSU in the next game, and then in the final game, LSU beats them. I think it was 5-1 what they beat them.
But they pushed LSU to their limits before they.
So I expect them to get past that hump that knocked them out last year. I also expect a better conference record. It's like you said, they had a 42-16 record. At home, they were 16-6. Away, they were 17-6, or 7-6. Sorry, and then at a neutral site, they were 19-4. Probably where the most wins came from. But their conference record was 8-10, and that's not good.
Yet somehow they still managed to be 3rd in the Big 12 coming into the tournaments.
Which is a good thing.
It is, but yet.
But that just also means that the Big 12, at least in softball, not very good.
Because really, what they have in the Big 12 is just Oklahoma and everybody else.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So, but I mean, I'm looking at the roster here. You got a couple juniors coming back, a lot of sophomores. You got senior Shelby Henderson coming back. You got a few freshmen that I see in this lineup. So and then a redshirt senior in Gigi Wall. So.
But to me, what I think is good is that they got a lot of good returners. Like you said, they got Heaven Burden, who last year led the Big 12 in stolen bases.
Yes.
She was also, if I'm not mistaken, top 5 in the Big 12 in hits. So was Carly Hamilton, by the way. Carly Hamilton was top 5 in batting average at .398. And what I like is that overall, their team batting average was .319, which means a lot of them know how to get the bat on the ball. And I think that's going to be a huge thing with those returning stars. I think that will be a big thing too.
And that also is going to impact the new stars, because I think I'm looking in here. I see quite a few freshmen. I think 1, 2, 3.
And there are a couple of freshmen that I've checked that they have a capability to be starters this year.
5, 6. I think about 7.
6, 7 freshmen.
7 freshmen is so.
And I checked about looked like 3 or 4 of them could possibly start.
So so that'll be good, and it'll be interesting to see how this season goes on.
I think so too.
Yep. Well, it's been a rough season for a lot of teams heading into the All-Star break. For some teams, it struggles. For others, it's injuries. The Mavericks are without Luka for quite a bit of time. Kyrie Irving got hit with a leg injury yesterday, and Clint Capella and Steph Curry will not be returning until after the All-Star break. Ryan, what kind of impact do you think these kinds of injuries have on these particular teams and the NBA?
Well, for some of them, it's huge because for some of those teams, because the teams of some of those players that you mentioned, you're talking about a playoff push.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Kyrie Irving, who is the Nets are a 7 seed. That's even without Kevin Durant, who we all know is going to be out for the season, and yet they're right now 7th, and they're trying to make that push. Now they don't have Durant or Irving. Clint Capella's out with the heel injury, so now they're having to go small ball.
Well, here's a list of a few people. So I'll start off with Boston, who's kind of a big player in the Eastern Conference.
They are.
You got Marcus Smart, who's got a thigh injury, won't be back until February 5th. You got their point guard, Walker, has a knee injury, won't be back until the 5th. You got Williams, hip injury, won't be back until the 21st. You got Mavericks. You have Luka, who has an ankle, I think it's an ankle injury. Let me double check here. Luka Doncic has an ankle injury, won't be back until the 12th. Seth Curry, not Steph, Seth, the younger brother, not the one who broke his hand. We'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. He's got a knee injury, won't be back until the 5th. Then you have, for Dallas, this is a huge impact. You have Dwight Powell, their big center, who has an Achilles injury and is out for the year. He's got that KD injury, so.
Now, I mean, they still have Porzingis, but that's still a big blow.
Yeah, that is still a big blow. And then Golden State, you have D'Angelo Russell, who has a quad triceps injury. That's a game-time decision, so that won't be as impactful as most. You've got Steph Curry, who broke his hand, as we all know, and isn't expected back until March. And then you've got Klay Thompson, who's out for out till June 1st, and that's if, and I mean a big if, ladies and gentlemen, if they can make it to the playoffs.
Which I don't think they will, because Steph Curry, as good as he is, he's not all worldly talented enough to pull them out from the hole that they're in now.
Now, this is a list that I found on the internet, and the biggest one that I found that as far as injuries is the Houston Rockets.
Clint Capella.
Well, you have Austin Rivers, who has an illness, game time decision. So Michael Jordan flu-like symptoms. Then you have Capella with a heel, February 6th. You have Westbrook, thumb, game time decision. You have Nene, is that how you say his name? Nene, who has a hip injury, 20th. And then you got Green, foot injury, April 15th.
But the Capella injury is definitely big because since he's been injured and they're waiting for after All-Star break, they've been going really small ball. And I mean the tallest player on that court that they've been using is Daniel House at 6'7".
Yeah.
And now it's been working so far, but I'm not.
That's not going to get you to the NBA
last.
Finals.
I don't really like that idea.
You're going to need a big.
Exactly. You're going to need Capella. You're going to need Hardenstein. You're going to need Tyson Chandler. You're going to need to use those guys eventually.
Yeah, I will say this has probably been the most injury-plagued season that I think I've seen personally, especially with a lot of big-name stars out like Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Luka Doncic. LeBron's still doing well, so at least we got him. Well, now it's time for Who You Got. To start off, we have the Philadelphia 76ers facing off against the Miami Heat. Ryan, who you got?
I'm going to go with the 76ers on this one.
Really?
I think that, I think that Joel Embiid is back playing like the all-star that he is. He's averaging 23 points a game, 12 rebounds a game, both leading the team. And also Ben Simmons is doing well, averaging 8 assists a game. He's now he still hasn't developed a three-point shot. They still shoot fireworks in the sky when he makes a three-point shot, but that's neither here nor there. But they're 9th in blocks. Mm-hmm. They're 9th in blocks, which means that that's very good defense. They average almost 6 blocks a game, and their turnover ratio is 1.9, which means that they don't often beat themselves, which is a key thing. So I'm going with the Sixers.
Mm-hmm. I'm going with Miami on this one.
Really?
Yeah, I think Miami's playing well. I mean, Dwayne Wade's been out of the game for a while. I know he was probably a big contributing star on that team, but I think they've got some new stars, new talent.
Tyler Hero,
yeah,
the rookie.
Yeah, they've got some rising talent, and I think they're going to pull this one out. Now, remember, our record. We didn't mention this at the beginning, but right now my record is 2-1, and yours is 1-2.
1-2.
We didn't cut as I predicted last week. The battle of the LA teams did get postponed. Sorry, not canceled, postponed. Due to, in fact, of the Kobe Bryant crash. So
that game might possibly still be added to our record when they play that game eventually.
Yeah, whenever they ring it up. As of right now, we discontinued that game. Yeah. So right now, I am in the lead for the first time since we started since we've redone this. So.
But it's very early in the semester.
Yeah, way early in the semester. But right now, I've got the Heat.
Now up next, we have the Portland Trailblazers taking on the Denver Nuggets. Austin, who you got?
I got Portland on this one.
Really? You got Portland.
I got you got Damian Lillard. You got that. I watched the LA's first home game. They played the Trailblazers. Damian Lillard, that entire squad, they've been playing well. They're playing almost like a complete team. They're looking for a playoff push, and I think they're going to get it with this win.
I think they will. I don't see them being a very high seed, but I can see them making a push. But to me, I'm going to go with the Denver Nuggets.
Well, right now you've got the Denver Nuggets.
I got the Denver Nuggets. I think the Jokic, or should we say the Joker, is hey. That's just what they're calling him, not me. Oh, no. But he's averaging 20 points a game. He's averaging 10 rebounds a game. And let me tell you, he's 7 feet tall and averaging six, almost 7 assists a game. That's pretty pretty impressive for a guy who's 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
And also third in assists too, which means they share the ball around. Plus, also remember the high altitude in Denver. The high altitude.
Mile high. Yeah, you think they're gonna choke?
No, I think Portland is gonna all of a sudden develop asthma, and they're gonna get tired quick, and Denver's gonna jump all over them.
I highly doubt that, my friend. I really do.
Well,
because you also got to remember Portland, Oregon.
Well, true, but I mean, it's not like
Denver's not the only team in above sea level, my friend. Okay.
That's a good point.
Well, up next we have a match in the Copa del Rey between Barcelona and the Athletic Club on Thursday. Ryan, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Barcelona on this one. I'm picking the team that's riding the hot hand, or should we say the hot foot, soccer. Yes, I know.
Football.
Yes, I know. I just came up with that right now.
That's not the first time that's been said, my brother.
because they've won 4 of their last 5, and in those 4 that they won pretty convincingly, and in their one loss they fought hard, and it was just a bad loss. And also they still got Lionel Messi. Remember that he's still now yes, there are rumors that he could leave. But in the meantime, he is still there, and he's still one of the best players in the world.
We can both agree on that one, my friend.
And also, they're first in possession, which means that they like to play keep away with the opponent, which leads to more opportunities for goals and shots on goal. So I'm gonna go Barcelona.
I'm gonna agree with you on Barcelona. They've got a hot hand going. There is a lot. I will say this. I've got Barcelona, but there is a lot of turmoil in that squad, and a lot of people can see it. I mean, with the rumors of Messi wanting to leave Barca, go to a different team, or maybe even retire. I hope that never happens, but we'll see.
He could retire. Not everyone's Tom Brady where they go until their 40s. I mean, eventually he's.
Hey, Adam Vinatieri is almost 50?
Well, he's a kicker. That's different.
Well, he's still. But anyway, so I've got Barcelona on this one. They've got the hot hand. I think they're going to continue this in the Copa del Rey. They do have their mindset on Champions League, which is happening later this month, and I think our picks are going to start getting we're going to start having a lot more who you got picks instead of just our usual 4. So especially with you've got basketball in the middle of the season, you'll have tech softball, tech baseball.
And next month we'll probably have some March Madness picks.
Maybe even some XFL picks. We never know.
We never know, because now the NFL's over, they might do that.
We'll see.
Now, up next to finish off, we have the LA Lakers taking on the San Antonio Spurs. Austin, who you got?
I got the Lakers on this one. You've got they failed against Portland, and I think they came back and won quite a game after that. But right now,
again, their minds weren't exactly in it at that time.
Yeah, agreed. So right now that you've got LA's number one in the Western Conference at 37-11. I mean, beat it. There's still plenty of season to go around. But, you've got the San Antonio Spurs, who are 22-26. They're right behind Portland for the 8th spot. They're at number 10 right now.
Yeah.
Trying to get that 8th slot, which is currently being held by the Memphis Grizzlies. So I think that LA is going to get this one.
Yeah. I was only just not picking the Lakers because I ride what goes well with me, which is the Clippers. But in honor of Kobe, I think I am also going to agree with you, and I'm also going to pick the Lakers. I think that right now AD is showing that he is an all-star, and he could very easily make first-team All-NBA. He's averaging 26 points a game. He's averaging 9 rebounds, 2.5 blocks a game, and also, like you said, you mentioned they are first in the conference right now. The only team with a better record than them is the Milwaukee Bucks, but they got 42 wins. I mean, they're on pace to possibly break some win records. I mean, it's
no. Can I just say this? Crazy. Nobody is touching that Golden State record for a long time.
I'm not saying they're going to get 73 wins, but I'm thinking they're going to get but but they're on pace to maybe win 69, 70 games, possibly 68. Just like the way they're going, they still have single-digit losses, and I believe that they're the only team to have single-digit losses right now.
Yeah, Milwaukee's got the best record, but that's obviously coming from the Greek Freak.
But that's the only team right now that's better than the Lakers, so I'd say the Lakers are a better pick.
Yeah, so I think what we're going to both say is we got Lakers and Milwaukee in the finals.
It would be possible. I wouldn't count that out.
Well, I mean that's the way I'm viewing it. So
Not very good odds to bet in Vegas, but
that's that's going to take a whole nother long show.
No, it's true.
Well, that's our show for this week's edition of MCTV Sports 101. Join us next week for the latest big name stories in sports. I'm Austin C.
And I'm Ryan Heller. We will see you next time. That was for Mahomes.
We both got them.